All right, hot off the presses is Kwon, member of the Good Golf channel. He did an update, and he's alive and well, healthy. He said he almost died, and it was, all we know, and I said it in a previous podcast, is that he was in an accident. That's all I said. People were like, he was in a car accident. He was not in a car accident. And I didn't think he was in a car accident, but I didn't say one way or the other. And he came out with his video, and he's getting, tons of support with this. And I'm glad. I'm glad he's okay, because that's scary. I hate seeing people get hurt, brain surgeries. That's scary. And apparently what happened is it happened at a golf course. And all he said he was in an accident. So I was like, did he get hit in the head with a golf ball? Was he in a car accident? I didn't know what happened. But he said he was in a golf cart, and they were driving. He sticks his head out of the cart as they go over this bridge, and he gets whacked in the head by a pole. And he was like, whoo, just kind of stunned, keeps playing 7 more holes, and literally he can't even remember it. It was a concussion, obviously. A bad one, where he had to go have brain surgery to relieve the swelling in the brain. So, man, that's tough. That's hard. And so, dude, prayers to you, Luke. I'm glad you're okay. I hate hearing stuff like that. People getting hurt. And so it's good to see him. Looks good, looks alert, and I'm sure he'll be back in full gear here shortly. But I'm grateful for the update. I'm grateful you're okay, and you're in our thoughts, our prayers. Good job. I don't know, good job, but I think, man, you just never know. You just never know what will happen. Injuries come just out of nowhere. So glad you're okay. Glad you're on the road to full recovery. Speaking of injuries, another one of the good. Why are we talking good golf so much? Here's why. The reason why is because that channel, what they do, has changed golf. It's literally changed the landscape of golf. For years and years and years, the PGA Tour and every golf outlet has been trying to reach a different viewer, specifically a younger demographic, because the average age of those who watch the PGA Tour is 65 years old. Nothing wrong with that, right? That's fine. That's great. It's a popular sport. Golf is huge. But it could be so much more. Where are the younger viewers? Where are they going? They're not necessarily watching baseball. They're kind of watching basketball. That's a more younger demographic. Football is younger, but that young 18 to 24, 25, 18 to 35-year-old age group, where are they? What are they watching? And it typically hasn't been golf. It hasn't even been a lot of sports. It's been other stuff. So what Good has done is they have a formula of their videos that reaches that segment regarding who not even in golf. So they're getting people into golf. And so they have changed the landscape of golf. And we have to look at that because there's a whole new wave of younger golfers getting into the sport. And so those who are 65 and older need to know what's happening, because if you're one of those 65 and older, 55 and older, whatever, and older, and you see a wave of younger generation, and you're this stodgy, grumpy, set in your ways person, and the clubs that you're playing with are filled with this younger generation, you're going to have a negative attitude toward them. And that's not good, because think about it. If you're older, when did you start? I love the game, right? So I want to see the game thrive and thrive and thrive for generations to come. So when you see that younger generation rolling into the golf course with their shirts untucked, their hats on backwards, it looks a little different than what you grew up with or what you're used to. We got to understand that things change, things evolve. I'm all for that. I'm all for the evolution, the change, new stuff. I don't ever want to get just set in my way, they're like, look at these little young whippersnappers coming in here and ruining everything. No, there's a certain level of respect and integrity that you need to have, which I don't think they don't have it. I think they do. But as the game grows and evolves, I want to see the younger generation pick it up instead of going somewhere else. Because golf is one of the few sports that you can play your entire life. That's why I picked it up when I was 18 years old. I started because I looked at all the sports. I knew sports in my life was something that helped me do better in all areas of my life. It gave me balance. It gave me an outlet. It helped me focus better when I was in school. So I knew I needed a sport, but I only wanted to devote myself completely to a sport that I could play for the longest period of time. And I looked around, I was like, tennis, no. Shuffleboard, I can't do that. That's too boring. And I looked at a lot of stuff. I was like, and I selectively picked a sport that had a long lifespan, and it was golf. And so I did that. So that's why we talk about Good, because they're ushering in a whole new generation of golfers. And I love that. And then my channel, what I do, I make a lot of instructional content, and I make a lot of other just entertaining content because I want to appeal to that younger generation who just wants, this is an illegal golf ball. There's the coolest, they're going to watch that stuff. And that's cool. And then it builds familiarity with me, right? And something they're into. So we build the level of trust. And then eventually they're going to want to know how to hit a bunker shot. And I do a lot of instructional content as well. So that's why we reach out to a lot of different segments of demographics, of age, and that type of thing. And Good is doing that. So that's awesome. And that's why when something happens with them, we like to discuss it, because the younger generation, they're interested, they're concerned. They're like, what happened? All right. So Matt, another member of Good, said he blew out his back. Now I can relate to that. I've blown out my back. And like early on into my YouTube, like a year into my YouTube channel, my back goes out. I'm in bed for a month. I mean, my kids had to carry me to the chiropractor, literally carry me. And they carried me to the acupuncturist. I went to this acupuncturist for my back in a supermarket, a Korean supermarket in Los Angeles. This lady didn't even speak English, and she's doing stuff. And I go back to her like 3 or 4 times. And then finally she says, Matt, you need a male doctor. You need a male doctor. I was like, why? She's like, he do other stuff to you. So she called her friend. He's like, Dr. Ko, you go see Dr. Ko. So I go somewhere else. And then this guy's, he's putting needles in my body in places you don't want needles. Trust me. So, and then I'm like, dude, it's inconvenient as that was, it got even worse. And then one day he's like, I'm like, Doc, I'm putting up with this and I'm still not better. He's like, okay, I try something new. And then he grabbed my foot. He's like, Matt, this is going to hurt. I'm like, the other needles don't hurt. What about the one there? Like, that didn't hurt. He's like, this is going to hurt. It gets right here, right in the very palm of my foot, like the tendon. And he's like, this is going to hurt. Pow. And he stuck that needle. Like, even thinking about it, I feel the needle both be like, ta. And I was like, And then he's like, yeah, just sit here 15 minutes. And I'm like, dude. And so then he pulls everything, and like 10 weeks of this stuff. Finally, after a month, my back started getting better a little bit. And so I can relate. Man, wish you the best. Hope you get better soon. And just, I would say, like, when you have a back injury, golf, like, almost equals back injury, especially when you swing and it probably as fast as he's swinging it. You gotta, like, physically, you gotta like start working out totally different. So the channel has had some unfortunate accidents and injuries. So I don't want to see that happen. I like seeing them out there. I like seeing them make content. I like seeing them do what they do, because they are reaching a generation of a segment of this population that is so interested in And they're using golf as like that catalyst, that avenue, that character, that scene. Like it's a setting of which they do their thing, which will only lead more and more people into the sport, and that is a good thing. Because the more that are in, the better equipment we're going to get, the better golf courses we're going to get, the more exciting experiences out there we're going to get, because things will change and evolve, and it will be better and better and better. So I wish you guys all the best. Thanks for doing what you do.